But what I want you guys to do this week is I want you to start a messenger group. Okay, a messenger group with all the people on your team. Okay, and I want you to, in this, when you set up the group and you add everyone in there, you know, welcome them and let them know that you want to come up with a name, you know, a team name. So, and that's what you can name that messenger group. So have them think of, because sometimes when you guys, you know, you make that team name together, it almost feels like, okay, you're in this together now. Okay. So coming up, like, we were the Harper's Hot Shots before we became Team PC Hot Shots. So you can think of something kind of around like something that starts with an M. But I will say, I took my name out of it once we started growing. So so something inspiring, but you can let them think of something fun too that you guys want to call yourselves. And then once they vote on a team name, then you can change your messenger group that name. Okay, and just let them know that you guys are going for this goal together, because for directorship, it really is about coming together and letting them know, because honestly, you can't do this without them. You know, like they have to have sales in order for you to become a director. Like it truly is a group thing, you know, so let them know that, hey, this is a team goal, because I can't do this by myself, you know, and that you guys are going to celebrate, you know, as a team when you hit this goal, you know, together. And so this will help you keep in contact with them and say, okay, what do you guys have left the remaining of the month? You know, what questions do they have? And you can really stay in contact with them when they're going to submit it. You know, how are things going? So it just really creates that camaraderie, you know, that you're going for the last 9 days of this month. Okay, so that's kind of your goal to do this week. Set up the messenger group, come up with a name for that, okay? Because I know, like, a lot of us as directors have our personal team pages on Facebook, but you can use this messenger group. Like, I know Tony, probably just a few months ago, got rid of her messenger group. And she's been, Tony, I mean, you've been a director for a while now.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. And she just now got rid of that. You know, so it still, even though you have, you know, and at some point, if you're ready to make a team page, like a group, you know, where you add them to that group and you do your posts and you do your interact, you know, just different things, then whenever you're comfortable with that, you can do that for sure. But this will at least help you stay connected with them. And if at one point you want to do away with the messenger and move over to the small group, that's fine. But just having a place where everyone can come together and feel connected is really, really important as you guys go for this goal this month. Okay, so that's something that I want you guys to focus on this week. Now, Mindy, with yours, so I would figure out of those, because you know 2 of them at least are going to be active. So of the 3 of the 4, or if you're going to focus on all the other 4, you know, because since you have 6 recruits, if there's just one that maybe you just like, I know that they're not planning on doing anything, maybe don't focus your time that much on them, but you can still include them in that messenger group. And maybe by seeing the excitement of others, you know, because you can cheer on, yay, so-and-so just post, you know, they just submitted this party and it was this much, congratulations, way to go. That's the kind of stuff posting in that messenger group, you know, celebrating when they, oh, so-and-so booked some, you know, booked this many parties for April, you know, that kind of stuff back and forth is what will really, really help in that messenger group. But I would see if you can inspire 3 of them to come up with sales, 150 in sales themselves. Maybe even give them a little incentive, you know, of a gift card or, you know, something, you know, if they can post and come up with 150 in sales by giving their link, you know, to order, or by doing a brownie pan challenge, selling a certain amount of brownie pans, you know, or, you know, one of those challenge type things. If they can't, Mindy, because you have the people, you know, two are going to be active, your sales are already there, then I would look at, okay, if I had some extra orders, you know, then look at going on their website, spend some orders. Okay.
I knew there had to be some tricks up somebody's sleeve somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing. Joanna, I know she's working on directorship for the last few months, and I'm really proud of her this month because it is finally falling into place, you know. And, you know, Mindy, it's one thing if you didn't have as much sales. Okay. Like I've had this conversation with Tony. It's easier to get people qualified than it is sometimes to get sales. So Mindy, if you were sitting right now with 2,000 in sales and only 2 that might submit sales, then we would be having a different conversation right now. But since you're at 7,000 in sales and 2 or at least are going to be active, I mean, I would encourage those 3 to see what they can come up with, maybe give them an incentive of some sort. But I always have backup sales if need be. Okay. If you just have a couple, but that's going to help you with this month. Okay. But obviously those 3, if they decide, maybe they will decide going into April to have a party and to do something, you know, that's always our goal. But if they don't, then we need to find people to replace them, because obviously your sales are great right now. You can maintain directorship on your own, you know, and I know Joanna gets there. Let me talk to Tammy and then I'll come back to everyone again. Tammy, can you unmute yourself?
Here I am.
There she is. How are you, dear?
Oh, Lord. Busy. I'm jumping back and forth with the girl that's talking about joining, so I'm trying to stay focused.
Awesome. So where are your sales at right now?
I'm at record sales for me. I'm over 4,300. Got 2 parties to close tomorrow, 2 parties going next week. So looking good.
Awesome. Tammy, how many people do you have under right now?
I have 2.
You have 2?
I just got one this week out of the blue.
And you're talking with someone else possibly?
Talking to 3 other people, actually.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So with yours, I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. I'm going to encourage you to start a messenger group with your 2 people.
Okay.
You know, talk about how you're excited to be going for this goal and how it is a group effort, you know, and changing your name and all those kinds of things like we just talked about. But then if you have these people that do end up joining, there is enough time to help them, you know, get some parties going.
Right.
But here's the thing, guys, that I want our focus with new consultants to be. And I've learned this the hard way over the last 8 years. So sometimes we're so focused on getting new consultants going that we want to start them so quick with these parties, and then the parties don't end up being successful, and you end up having frustrated consultants. So if they can get going, I almost, though, what I would do if it was personally me, Tammy, is I would see if maybe they can get some sales, kind of like I was talking to Mindy about,
Right.
gathering some sales to at least get them to 150. Because if you are the 2 people that already joined, do they have parties at least?
Yes, actually the one girl that joined out of the blue this week, she was a guest on a party. She ordered last Tuesday and then said she wanted to sign up. Okay. We
Awesome.
talked, and then we talked today, and we went through all, setting up the party, the whole bit, and she's starting her party tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. So what about the other one?
My other recruit, she's been in for a few months.
Does she have anything left the rest of this month?
She's struggling right now. And then my other three, the other one that is 99% sure she's going to sign up, her party starts tomorrow, but she wants to wait towards the end of the party, and she's on the opportunity event tonight, and she, I feel like she'll sign up.
Have you offered to let her have the party
Yes.
and the commission, and she
Yes.
still wants to try it
Yes.
first?
Yes.
Does
She's
it
done a
look
lot
like-
of sales and, got in it 6 months and then dead and nowhere to go. And that's where she got out. So of course I told her about how, we have so much support and this and that. She said, okay, great. But she wants to do her party and then go from there. So.
Okay, awesome.
And Tammy, your recruit, Carrie, she's like 1,500. So
Yeah.
before anything's submitted, you're like 100 and something away from 5,000, which is amazing. So
Okay,
I
awesome.
don't think you have sales to worry about at
No,
all.
your sales are definitely going to
No,
be there.
right.
And that's not where I'm talking to you like I was talking to Mindy. And that's what the conversation Choni and I had today is it's harder to get sales than it is if you have people that are interested. If you have 3 people you're talking to,
Right.
having them join the opportunity event and being in there. We're offering 2 free kits tonight. Okay. So, and then having them look at collecting some orders over the next 9 days. What I would personally do if they sign up at some point this next week, rather than trying to have them start a party and rushing it and getting it going just to close at the end of the month, I almost would focus with them on seeing who they can get some orders from,
Right.
to at least get to that 150, and then starting their parties the following weekend. Once
Okay.
they've had a proper host coaching, they've had, a call with you and Tony or whoever to really get them, because that's kind of that's what I don't want to happen. That's happened before. It's like, oh my gosh, we want to promote. So sign up you, and we're going to rush this like 3-day party to try to have it just to have these sales. And then it doesn't end up that successful. And this is one of their like key people to have a party for them. And then they feel super defeated when it isn't successful. And then having them continue to, to move forward can be difficult. The alternative is have them sign up, see if they can collect some sales. You also, maybe see about having some sales that if they don't get to the 150, you can see, what you may need to help them with. But also then you have them do the proper host coaching and the proper setup the parties, and then get them started the right way with, 2 to 3 parties going the next weekend. So that's where I feel like they're going to feel more success if you say, let's go ahead and get your party started on this date, and get some sales going. So
Right.
that's just where over the years, we've had people try to rush to get parties going just to hit that 150, and then it ends up backfiring because they don't have the success in that party. And then they're like, well, obviously I'm horrible at this, so I probably shouldn't continue on, instead of, okay, 2 to 3 parties, they get some success, and then they're like, wow, okay, I think I can do this. And now they're ready to go book some more parties. So Continue, keep us updated, Tammy, on the legacy leaders. After the opportunity event tonight, if they end up signing up, where you're at with that, because I definitely do think that you should make this your go month. With that much in sales and having someone else on your team with that high-end sales and having the possibility of these other people signing up, it's definitely puts you where you need to be to promote this month, for sure.
Okay.
So all three of you have the sales that you need to. And that's super important, because guys, sometimes trying to pull in the sales, it's going to make you hit it this month, but then what about next month? But if you are a strong seller, the strongest sellers, Tony is a perfect example of this. The strongest sellers on our director team, that were the strongest sellers before they promoted to director, are strong directors, because they didn't stop having these parties and recruiting once they hit their directorship. Okay, so once you guys become directors, I know that home office is offering 4 calls of training with directors to help you start out your directorship strong. But then I'm also going to do some calls with you. Just things like, because you're going to go, okay, that's great. I'm a director now. What the heck do I do? Like, where do I go from here? Super. So
To advanced director.
to advanced director, that's right. So that's where I want to help you guys with is, okay, how do I look at some of these reports? How do I work with some of these people? How do I know who to work with versus, all right, I'm not investing as much time in you, okay? Things like that are super important as you are going to be a leader in your team. But I know you guys have heard me say, I don't even know, 500 umpteen times, is once you promote to director, we're going to celebrate you and we're going to be super excited and you're all going to get something special from me. And then you're going to keep working. And it's not like this. When I had a lunch with Carol Radu, she's our national, when I was a first director, because I promoted to director my first year, and I sat down with lunch with her at national conference, and I was sitting there and she was like, okay, well, you guys have arrived. Yay, congratulations. But it doesn't stop here, because so many people, they get to directorship and they're like, I did it. Woo. All right. Now I just keep, kind of moving. But the important thing is to realize that she told me the more you can sell yourself and try to have that 5,000 yourself, the stronger you're going to be as a director. And I never looked back from that. Even as an executive director, where, guys, we have 500 people on our team. I have a ton of people on my personal team. I could say, well, I only have to have 750 this month. Yes. But I've never done that in my business, ever. Because I know that if it's up to me, like with our directors today, we were talking about things that were in our control versus out of our control. In my control, I can get that 5,000 in sales myself. Out of my control, I can't always control what the people on my team do. I can encourage them, I can train them, I can help them, but that doesn't mean that something couldn't come up that month where that devastated me from hitting my directorship. We've had lots of people on our team who had really strong sellers under them, and that strong seller, something happened in their family, life happened, something came up, and they were not selling 4,000 in sales anymore, and that director lost her title because she became dependent on the fact that this person would help her get there every month. Okay, so that's never a position that I want you all to be in. I've been in the hospital, I've been in surgeries, I've been birthing babies. I've had lots of things happen in my last 8 years. I mean, where friends were like, seriously, Melanie, because, they didn't know that I was using Sincere or posting service at the time. I'm in the emergency room. They're like, seriously, take a break. Like, it's not actually me posting, but thank the Lord for censure right now. But you know, like life happens for us. And I have constantly looked at it as, okay, I can take my moment to cry and be frustrated and have my little pity party, but how am I going to pick myself up and keep moving on? And I have continued my business like that for 8 years now. I've never not hit my directorship in a month. Never. Not one time. Because I always work to either have it myself or close enough that I didn't have to rely on my team. So that's what's going to make you guys strong directors. And that's what I want for you all. I don't want you guys to get to the 30th, 31st every month, and you're trying to hit your directorship title, and Susie Q and Johnny Boy didn't have their sales in, and you guys didn't hit it. Okay, so work your businesses in such a way moving forward, you know, that you, and I'm not saying, you know, you may not have 5,000 in sales every month, but if you don't, you know that your team is going to have the rest of it. Okay, I always tell our directors, you know, you need to have at least 2,500 minimum in a month, you know, and the more that you have after that is good. Okay, but minimum as directors and leaders, we should be having 2,500. So, and that is, I honestly feel truly like that is why I've been able to have, you know, the success I have. And I have never stopped recruiting. So even when I promoted to director, that's another thing Carol looked at me and said was, okay, now re-promote yourself in your next 90 days. So once you guys hit your directorship title, I'm going to encourage you to try to re-promote yourself in 90 days again, meaning 5 people in 3 months. Okay, because what that's going to do, you know, for Mindy or Tammy or even Joanna, yeah, I know Joanna, you have some people that it may not be the strongest too. Okay, is that's going to replace those, because the directors that struggle are the ones that stop recruiting, because I don't have a single person on my team that I started with 8 years ago. Those 5 are gone. And so one of them just fell off like 3 months ago. So she stayed with me for 7 years. But most likely, they may not be with you till the end of time. Okay? So you have to continue recruiting, because when you continue recruiting, you're replacing those that are not going to work in your business, because you're going to have those that are your every other month consultants. You're going to have yours that just submit every 6 months just to stay in the business. You're going to have those rock stars that they just push and they go and they have high sales. Okay, so you're going to have a variety of people on your team, but you have to be sure that you're bringing in people to replace those, because if at any point something happens to those high sellers, okay, you want to know that you have enough people on your team that are doing something that you don't struggle. So, what questions do you guys have? Any questions that you have going into this week?
I have a question.
Yes.
Like, okay, say I promote, of course, it'll be April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie is signing one. So will that be like a second gen?
No, they don't become
How
a
does that work?
second gen until they promote to director.
Okay, well,
Okay.
she's on it.
Okay, so they're just going to stay in your personal team.
Okay.
They stay in your personal team until that person gets 5 people and they promote to director, and then they become a first gen.
Okay.
Because they were someone that you directly promoted,
Okay.
and you know, then you promote to first gen. Now, once they're a first gen and they promote someone under them, then you have a second gen.
Okay. Okay.
And like Tony, she's my 3rd gen, because I have Kayla, who's my first, and then Christy Barnett, and then Tony.
Okay.
So
Okay. I was just curious to how that worked.
Like Mindy, well, I'm not sure about Mindy yet. Mindy, Mindy, Mindy will either be a second or third gen, depending on if Gina promotes. So, we could have a double promotion with that, or we could have a Mindy promotion and you promote to my second. So,
I'm gonna kick her butt if she doesn't.
okay, well,
It isn't that hard.
you
If
and
the rest of
I
every
both will. Yes, she's looking at having to have 750 in sales.
I mean, come on.
Yep. So, Mindy, you'll either be a second or a third gen. So, Joanna, you'll be a third, because I have Melissa Gooden, then Angela is my second, and you'll be my third.
Okay.
So, do we have any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
I thought that so Mandy, who's underneath of me, and she's doing really good, and she's
Yes.
got one recruit, and her sales are good, and she's going to try to do the 90 promote to director in
Fast track,
90 days. Did I hear something like, if I'm a director, when she promotes, then do I earn all the rewards she earns for her 90-day
Okay,
director?
where are you at, Mindy, when did you start?
I started, oh gosh, I signed up back in like November. I was a kidnapper. And totally, absolutely.
Heard of
And
this before.
I sat on it for like 2 months and didn't do anything, and happened to put in an order, and they sent me a check and a bunch of free products. I'm like, what the heck is this? So I'm going to, if I go to reports and tracking, back to that same report that you had us look at, will that
Right.
tell me my start date?
If it doesn't say 30 or 90 days there, then you're out of your 90.
Oh, I know I'm out of my 90.
Okay, so the way that your rewards, so if, where is she
You
at?
said ask questions.
I know. I have to think through this whole new process though. So you are still in your 6 months though. And the way that it works, if you are still in your 6 months and you promote a director under you, I may have to call the exec line for this, because I don't know if you have to become a fast track in order to get the cash for the director promotion under you, or if you promote and someone promotes under you in 6 months, if you get the cash from that. I need to ask about that, because they changed the whole. And Tony, do you know, have you heard of this question before?
I thought you could get,
Because I know you get the cash
Regardless.
when you promote to director in your 90 days. But then it says if you have someone that promotes to director under you in your 6 months, then you get the cash for that. And then they maintain their directorship, you get more cash. But I don't know if it matters when you actually promote to director.
like, we can still earn cash rewards, right? When we have people
Yes.
promote? Yeah.
Yes. In their 90 days though. So you get the cash for fast tracking. Now, but Mindy, she would fast track, right? Because when did Mandy sign up?
Yes, Mandy's trying to fast track and she signed up on her 90-day. Oh, it's coming out. Well, she got a little time. Her 90 days is up May 11th.
Oh, okay. When will you be in 6 months? So you signed up.
I don't know. Where do it doesn't show it on my
Let me look here. I can look it up.
performance tracker.
Let me go to Kayla because you're directly under Kayla as of right now. Even though you're under Gina, you're still under her. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Agreement date. Yeah, the very end of, let me click on you. You okay, your performance details. So you promoted March 1st to senior consultant. Congratulations. Your agreement date was 10/30. So basically November 1st. I mean, you're probably like November 7th or so would have been your like start date. So like December, let's say November 6th. So December 6th, 1, January 6th, 2, February 6th, 3. So you're probably in your 4th month right now. Did you get your kit enhancement thing this
No,
month?
I didn't know anything about kid enhancement. Gina told me that I should have gotten an email, but I don't remember ever seeing it. So I know there's another one in April.
There is. You may be in your, so I would say, and I can call, when I call them, I can have them look at you personally and pull it up and I can walk through with them and they can let me know. But I would say if she promotes by next month, would be your 6 months. Now she, for her fast tracking, she's obviously going to have until May, but I need to look at if your 6 months is up in April or May. So I need to see which month they would consider your 6 months. So I can call, I'll make myself a note to call, because I can call the executive concierge and they'll pull you up and they'll walk me through you personally, this situation, and see what we can find out. And I'll get back to you, Mindy, on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that was a long answer to not really knowing yet. So sorry. Some of those things, though, with it being the new stuff, I just quite don't know how they're breaking it down yet. So the old system I had down pretty good, but some of that stuff about the fast tracking now and all that, not quite sure yet. So I'm going to encourage you, like I encouraged my directors today, during this time to be filling yourself with positive things. Okay, because there's a lot going on right now, obviously, that can get you down and frustrated and not really sure what's going on in our world, So, like I know Rachel Hollis has a podcast. Just listening to something, we talked last week, and I don't know if Tammy or Mindy, I don't think you guys were on the call last week, but we talked about listening to the Miracle Morning. If you type Miracle Morning on YouTube, it's about an hour, and it's just so good to feel, to fill up yourself with just positive things, because you need to fill your tank so that when it comes to your team and they're draining your tank, throughout the day, okay, you have some resources to pull from because it's really hard to fill on a dry well. Okay. So, and that's going to be, you know, guys, as you guys become leaders, that's just how it's going to be. And there, you're going to have times where you want to pull out every hair on your head, but you're also going to have moments where you are so thankful for this business because like now, you know, more than ever, I mean, I have our kids, all three of them here with me for, I don't even know how many more weeks. And if I, you know, had something else that I had to be doing and then trying to come home and do stuff with them, you know, it would be totally different, you know. And my husband, he's got an office right in here right now because he's having to work from home too. So sometimes you just need to be sure that you're filling yourself up because it's not always easy, but it is rewarding. It's very rewarding. So just like even our director called today, just, you know, coming together and chatting and being filled back up, you know, is always a good thing. So be sure that you guys this next week are posting on that Legacy Leaders page. Okay. Keep me up to date, you know, because next I'll have to let you guys know the time of the call. You know, everything is so crazy right now because, you know, with churches, we can't go watch it, you know. In this life group, we typically meet at 6, so 8:30 was fine for our call. Then they're like, well, we're not meeting in person anyways, so let's go ahead and do it at 8 instead. And I gave them the Zoom link, so I was like, I can't have 2 Zoom links going at once. So everything is just a little bit kind of crazy right now. So thanks for being flexible on that. But I'll let you know as I know what time, like we'll be meeting 8 most likely, as long as we're not meeting in person. I can see them moving it to 8 o'clock instead. And if you guys are okay with moving it up a little bit, we will have our last call, next Sunday. So, and that will be a couple days before the end of the month. So definitely by then we really need to have like everything in place. So as far as, okay, if they don't have sales under them, what's the game plan, you know, to help with that. So focus this week, you know, on kind of getting everything fine-tuned and wrapped up, which for all of you, it's mostly going to be because your sales are going to be there pretty much, but making sure your team members have what they need under them. So, any other questions? Y'all good? Ready to do this?
Yes.
You guys got this. You guys, all 3 of you are in a good position right now. You really are, to make it happen. And trust me, I've helped a lot of directors walk this end of the month path. So, but I feel
Got your red dresses picked out?
yeah.
Pick out that red dress.
Well, hopefully we have a national conference this year.
Well, if we don't, you're still going to put on that red dress and parade around your living room for us.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We can Zoom it.
We're zooming the red dress special.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Why not?
All right, guys. Well, it's 5 minutes until my next Zoom call. So I'm going to jump off here so those people can hop on and the other call. So, but thank you guys for being on here. I appreciate it.
Thank
you.
you, Heidi, for
All right.
everything
Thank
you do.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.